She slammed on her brakes in the middle of the street, stormed out of her SUV, and accused me of stalking her. But as she raged, traffic honking around her, I noticed something flapping near her rear wheel. She'd driven off with the gas pump still attached. The nozzle bounced against the pavement, sending sparks flying with each impact. My instinct was to point it out immediately, but she didn't give me the chance. Her finger was already inches from my face through my open window. "I've been watching you follow me for the last 3 blocks," she shouted with a shrill voice that carried down the entire street. "What kind of creep follows a woman through a residential neighborhood? Do you even live around here?" Her designer sunglasses slid down her nose as she leaned further into my personal space, her perfectly highlighted bob haircut swinging with each accusatory head movement. I tried to speak, but she immediately cut me off. "I am the HOA president of Sunnyside Estates, and we do not tolerate this kind of behavior in our community." The way she emphasized HOA president made it sound like she was announcing herself as the Queen of England. "I just moved into the neighborhood a week ago, already warned about the HOA president. Karen, a woman infamous for her power trips and obsessive rules." That morning, I stopped for gas on the way to work and noticed her pulling out just ahead of me, a long black hose swinging from her tank. Out of genuine concern, I followed her for a few blocks, hoping to flag her down. I tried honking, flashing my lights, and even rolled down my window to shout, but her music was apparently too loud for her to hear anything. When we both stopped at a red light, I considered getting out to tell her, but the light changed too quickly. That's when she apparently noticed me in her rear-view mirror and decided I was public enemy number 1. Now here we were creating a traffic jam in the middle of Maple Drive as she continued her tirade. "I have your license plate on camera," she continued, waving her phone at me. "I'll be reporting this to the Community Security Patrol and the police." The surrounding cars had started honking continuously, but Karen seemed completely oblivious to the chaos she was causing. "Ma'am, if you would just listen for a second," I began, keeping my voice calm and measured. "There's something wrong with your don't you, ma'am." "Me?" she interrupted, with an indignant huff. "I know exactly what you're doing. First you follow me and now you're trying to gaslight me into thinking I'm overreacting." She turned to address the growing crowd of neighbors who had emerged from their homes, drawn by the commotion. "Everyone, this man has been stalking me since the gas station." But when she finally pulled over, it wasn't to check her car. She marched up to mine, camera phone in hand, ranting about creeps tailing women, and threatening to report me to the HOA. Her voice drew a crowd. I tried to explain, but she only got louder, more indignant, convinced I was harassing her. A few people had begun filming the interaction, and I noticed a couple of confused glances directed at Karen's car. "Do you know how many community regulations you're violating right now?" she demanded, scrolling through her phone to apparently reference the sacred HOA bylaws she seemed to have memorized. Section 4, paragraph 12 clearly states that all residents must maintain appropriate conduct that doesn't disturb the peace or security of other residents. I took a deep breath, trying one more time. It's Miss Westfield," she corrected with a terse smile. "Karen Westfield, president of the Sunnyside Estates HOA for 5 consecutive terms." "Miss Westfield?" I continued patiently. "I was only following you because what?" she challenged, crossing her arms. "You thought a woman driving alone was an easy target? Well, you picked the wrong woman to mess with. I have the entire board on speed dial, and our security cameras track every vehicle that enters this neighborhood." She gestured dramatically to a nearby lamppost where, sure enough, a security camera was pointed in our direction. Just as she hit her dramatic peak, demanding I give my name and address, a guy in the crowd shouted, "Lady, you've got a gas pump hanging out of your car." Everyone turned. Karen froze. Her eyes darted to her vehicle, and her entire expression crumbled as she saw the evidence. The black hose was still attached to her gas tank with a nozzle now dragging on the ground, having left a trail of small gasoline drops along the pristine neighborhood street. For a moment there was complete silence. Then someone in the back of the crowd started laughing, which quickly spread to others. Karen's face turned a shade of red. I didn't think was humanly possible. Her mouth opened and closed several times, but no words came out. "That's what I was trying to tell you," I said, keeping my voice neutral despite the satisfaction I felt. "I noticed it at the gas station and was trying to get your attention before you caused any damage." The crowd began murmuring and filming. Her confidence drained away. I didn't say a word. I didn't need to. Karen, red-faced and speechless, rushed back to her car, fumbling with a dangling hose as someone pointed out it was leaking slightly. The balance of power had shifted entirely. A few neighbors approached me, introducing themselves and apologizing for Hurricane Karen as they called her. "She's been getting worse lately," one older gentleman confided. "Last week, she fined the Johnsons for having their trash can visible from the street at 6 a.m. on garbage day. She cited my daughter for parking her friend's car in our driveway overnight," added a woman who introduced herself as Monica, claimed it violated the guest vehicle policy that she made up herself. As we chatted, Karen was still struggling with the gas pump, eventually giving up on detaching it properly. From the corner of my eye, I saw her get back into her SUV, the hose still connected, looking both ways as if contemplating her escape plan. Panicked, she sped off, still dragging the pump behind her, leaving a scene of stunned onlookers and a few laughing teens. The same security cameras she boasted about earlier caught the entire thing. The footage would soon make its way around the community group chat. As her SUV turned the corner, we could hear the scraping sound of the metal nozzle against the pavement, throwing up more sparks. "Someone should probably call the gas station," I suggested. But one of the neighbors was already on it, explaining the situation to what must have been a very confused gas station attendant. What happened next spread through the neighborhood like wildfire. The gas station reported the incident to the police as property damage and theft, as technically she had stolen part of their pump. The repair cost to the damaged fuel dispenser came to over $3,000, which Karen was legally required to pay. But that was just the beginning of her troubles. Later that day, I got a knock at the door, not from Karen but from an HOA board member who apologized for her behavior and asked if I'd be interested in attending the next meeting. Apparently, some folks were finally ready to vote on new leadership. The board member explained that this incident was the last straw in a long history of Karen's abuse of power. At the emergency board meeting held just 3 days later, Karen was unanimously voted out of her position as HOA president, a role she'd held with an iron grip for 5 years. As the votes were tallied and the result announced, her face contorted in shock and disbelief. "This is a mistake you'll all regret," she sputtered as she grabbed her designer purse and stormed toward the exit. "I've given everything to this community." The door slammed behind her with such force that the HOA mission statement plaque she commissioned fell off the wall and cracked in two.